Hello everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you how to make gold-filled earrings from start to finish. Start by learning how to cut a thicker gauge using this jeweler saw. And I'm going to show you how to decide on what kind of saw blade you're going to use and how to properly position yourself while cutting the wire. I've already shown you how to make the stacking rings using gold filled material, but this time I'm going to show you again how to solder the gold filled wire, and I'll break down the step by step so you feel more confident in giving a try. So grab your gold filled wire, soldering tools, and let's get started on making the most beautiful gold filled earrings that you would want to wear every day. Let's get to work! The material needed to make this pair of gold-filled hoops is a 20 gauge wire with a length of 6 centimeter. And since it's a pair, so I'm cutting 2 of these. And the second material is a sparkle wire with a thickness around 14 gauge. You can also use other pattern wire. It doesn't have to be sparkle. So I'm marking 4 centimeter each with a Sharpie, and we will cut these using the saw. First, let's install this anvil on the bench. This one has a practical design that allows it to be easily mounted on the workbench. It also features a rounded section intended for use with the ring mandrel. Next, I'll securely screw the V-slot into the bench anvil, ensuring a tight fit. So right now, I'm going to show you how to cut through this thicker wire. It's 1.6 millimeters wire. So here in my chart, it's written around 14 gauge. Okay, so I've already put the mark on it. I don't know if you can see it here with the markers, 4 centimeters each. So I'm going to go to the bench and show you how to start cutting these. When installing the blade, make sure the cutting edge is facing the proper direction. You want to be able to feel the serrated teeth and ensure they're oriented face down. Now let's install this blade into the saw frame. Open the screw on the lower part of the frame and insert the blade, and then securely tighten the screw back up. Repeat the same process for the top part of the frame. Unscrew, insert the blade, and retighten the screw. And since my jeweler frame has an adjustable height feature, I'm using that to help get the blade tightened down properly. I simply loosen the adjustable part, push the blade in as far as I need it, and then retighten everything to secure the blade in place. To check if the blade is correctly in place, try pulling it gently. If I hear a tight string-like tone, similar to the sound of a guitar string, that's a good indication that the blade is properly secured. I can run my finger down the length of the edge, but never run it up the edge. This will help prevent accidental cuts as the blade's edge is very sharp. The best seating position at the workbench, I want to make sure that the surface is around shoulder level. The key is being able to clearly see the object without having to hunch down or strain the neck. I have my wire lay flat on the V-slot and with a 45-degree angle start moving up the blade, in which direction it doesn't cut. This movement will leave a dent on the wire that will hold the saw while I'm cutting through the wire. Once I see a dent, I can start cutting through the wire by moving the saw up and down without any pressure towards the wire. This step helps ensure a clean, controlled cut. Now let's look at the body positioning while cutting. I have the workbench positioned directly in front of my chest. I'm relaxed yet sitting up straight, legs bent at a comfortable angle and feet flat on the floor. The elbow is positioned almost perpendicular to the body, not hunching down nor straining the neck. Maintaining the proper body alignment is important for both productivity and long-term physical well-being. Now that I have these two sparkle wire cut, let's go to the next step. Since the wire was stored rolled up in a circular shape, it's natural that it looks curved. I'm straightening the curve using these parallel pliers, and I'll show you the trick using this brass plate that I repurposed from an old makeup compact is to sandwich the wire between a flat surface and the brass plate and roll until they're completely straight. Now, let's move on to the step that leads to the soldering work. I mark a point using Sharpie as to where I want to solder, and I file the edge flat to create a clean, even surface. Then, using marker, I've made a visible mark on the filed section to clearly indicate where the edge has to be prepared. The second step, making the flux paste. To do this, I'll take a sprinkle of water and use it to grind down the borax stone and the non-glazed ceramic dish, and I use the paste as a fire barrier. The third step is the setup. I have a help of two pairs of lock tweezer. One is mounted on the third hand, and another has a help of this recycled weight iron that helps stabilize this tweezer. I've placed the sparkle wire on the soldering block and used the weight to hold it securely in place to make sure that it won't move around. With the thinner wire, with the help of a cross-lock tweezer, I've positioned it perpendicular to the main wire with the Sharpie mark filed edge facing downward. I've aligned it so it sits just above the mark on the main wire. This step is very important here. I'm applying some pressure to hold the wires firmly against one another. Because when the metal pieces are heated, the borax in the flux paste will react and start to bubble. We are ready to fire now. I apply this easy solder for 14K rose gold. Last application on the borax before the fire, and then let's go. I will point the torch only on the specific area that needs to be soldered, the mark section where the two wires meet. Once I see the solder start to melt, I'll point the torch away for a moment. Then I'll bring it back to the joint area to ensure that the solder has fully melted and flow between the wires. It seems to be successful. I'm taking it off the setup and now I'm going to pickle. Okay, I will change the pickle solution, I promise. Now that the two wires are successfully fused, it's time to shape the thinner wire into a half circle formation. To start this shaping process, I'm going to use this hammerhead. Really, actually any household object with a suitable shape will work. I'll use the hammerhead to give the wire its initial shape. The next forging step is to have it hammered harder on this oval mandrel. If you notice, I only use a rawhide mallet so I don't strike a mark on the wire. Even though this hammering step may seem easier, I want to make sure I achieve the most perfect half circle shape possible. Getting the curvature just right is crucial, as this shape is key to the overall beauty and elegance of the earrings. Once it's done, Then I like to add a texture on the hoops, which are hammered texture. So right now, I just go ahead and lightly hammer the half circle until it's completely hardened. Once again, even though this hammering step may seem easier, I want to make sure I achieve the most even texture on the wire. This is the key element to the overall aesthetics of the hoops. The last touch, with the help of power tool, I'm going to shave off the rough edges. And I'm going to polish the jewelry to shine and wash these gorgeous hoops in the ultrasonic machine for 3 minutes. And it's ready to go. Super gorgeous. This piece is done in 14 karat rose gold field. You can also make it in 14 karat yellow gold field, silver, or even with copper. If you want to be bigger, use a thicker wire using 18 gauge, but I think it can be pretty too if it's in a smaller shape. Well, the possibility is infinite. You can also purchase this, of course, in my Etsy store. I will link it in the description below. So this is it. I hope that you feel confident and inspired to put this new jewelry making ability into practice. Remember, the key things to keep in mind are use the right tools and a good positioning when you are working on your jewelry. And also, you need to take your time with the soldering process. If you enjoy my video, make sure to check out my other tutorial. And if you want to stay up to date with my latest video, and hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Happy crafting and see you on the next video. Goodbye.